Hello everybody, I'm Weebot the Robot, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about some of the reveals that came out of the Tokyo Toy Show, along with some other reveals that were shown off throughout the week. It seems like this past week has just been slam full with different reveals of varying coincidental degrees. So let's get right into it. First off, we're going to talk about the latest amount of news, and that is the reveal for a Masterpiece Lio Convoy. The Beast Wars Masterpiece line has been an interesting thing to keep an eye on for the past few years, and just for the sheer fact that it never ceases to surprise me. Like, I predict, like, oh, next one's gotta be Rhinox or Tigertron. Definitely. And then they come out with Black Arachnia. So it never fails to surprise me. I gave up after, Megatron got announced. But it is a welcome surprise to see Lio Convoy up here, and he looks beautiful. The robot mode looks like something straight out of the cartoon, and with what kibble is there, it is pretty well managed. Definitely way more impressive than the original toy was, although the original toy did have those cool missile launching gimmicks. But either way, just the big chest, the smaller waist, and the big feet just look great. I only wish that it could have had the proper lion details where the white is. I do like a little bit more detail and texture on my figures, but I can see it's definitely going for a more animation accurate style. Of course, the only real amount of kibble are the lion feet on the arms and the shoulders, of course. But one interesting transformation piece to note is the lion head on his left shoulder. It seems to be that head turns inside out between transformation. While it takes on a more organic, natural lion look in beast mode, it seems that it transforms inside out and has a more angular appearance in robot mode. I really like that touch, and I think that's pretty cool. They didn't have to do that, but they did anyway. The only Leo Prime I have is the Cybertron version, so this is a welcome surprise. But yeah, overall, I love its design. I love it. I think it's cool. I just hope the price is low, but knowing Beast Wars Masterpiece, I'm guessing maybe around $200. Because Takara's nuts. Next up in the reveals, we're going to move a tad bit away from the Tokyo Toy Show, and we're going to talk about the Seige, Ratchet, and Bluestreak that were revealed. Well, they were more so leaks than reveals, with the guy just having them placed on his laptop. You can even see him wearing a yellow shirt in the background in the reflection of the screen. Bluestreak looks good, but being the Seige Prowl mold, I don't really have a lot of incentive to pick this up. It's just an okay mold, I guess, but it's not, like, the best Prowl figure. Like, it feels okay, but there's something about, like, his chest just feels way too wide. I don't know. It looks decent though. And then Ratchet, and oh boy does this look bland. I've seen people on TFW and Twitter talking about it, trying to figure out why does this figure look so bland? And I think it might be because of lack of silver or gunmetal on the character. There's just a lot of white going on, and I think some part of his crotch needs to be painted. Because if you compare the Seige figure with his card game artwork, you can see there's some slight color differences. For one thing, with the artwork, the silver on the hands, crotch, and head are present, while on the figure they are not. I think by painting this, that'll fix that. But sadly, with Bluestreak and Ratchet, we don't have any pictures of their alt modes yet. I'm still gonna pick up the Ratchet, but when it comes to the Bluestreak, it might be a maybe. Either way, I still think they do look kinda cool. Now, coming back to the Tokyo Toy Show, we got some things that I never got to really talk about while I was away. Like, for one thing, MP-44 looks really cool. We got MP Black Arachnia, which just, God, looks so fucking awesome. The Generation Select Star Convoy and Smokescreen. Siege Mirage, Red Alert, and Barricade. Oh, and can't forget MP Hound. Just so many of them look really cool, and I'd love to be able to get my hands on all of them. But another cool reveal that came out of the Tokyo Toy Show was the MP-19 Plus Smokescreen, a more cartoon accurate paint scheme and molding for the MP-19 Smokescreen. I don't know how I really feel about this, or the MP Plus line in general. I much prefer my Masterpiece figures to have a more sense of realism to their vehicle and robot modes. However, some of the differences this figure has, not only with the paint scheme, is a little bit in the molding too. For one thing, he has a completely new head, and what seems to be like a swappable face. However, we didn't get to see any of these swappable faces. He has new shoulder cannons that have been molded smaller than the previous, and he comes with a cool smoke accessory that I guess you can attach to the back of the car. Overall, I think it's pretty cool, but I don't really see it as that much of an improvement from the previous version. Sadly, it's just not for me. But if you're happy about it, more power to you. And now, one of the most hype reveals that came out of Tokyo Toy Show. A reveal for King Poseidon and the Seacons. Wait, am I supposed to call them Seacons or Piranhacons? I hear them interchanged all the time. Oh well. But we got to see the gray prototypes of Snaptrap and Scalar, who I think look pretty cool for intense combiner remolds. As well as from the image, we got to see a little bit of what the combined mode is going to look like, along with a silhouette behind it of what the full combined mode would look like. Also, one thing to note is that the right side of King Poseidon's arm is a little bit bigger than the left, so it seems like we're going to get a 6th Seacon that turns into a weapon. And with how sizable it seems, I'm going to assume that it's going to be another deluxe Seacon. But yeah, it seems like they come with a bunch of weapons and new combiner hands and feet. I like the new hands. They seem to have individual finger posability at the knuckle, but nowhere really else. Also, the thumb seems to have a hinge and maybe a rotation at the base of the thumb? I'm not too sure. It's pretty cool. It seems like every year we get some new kind of combiner hands and feet that are supposed to be better than the previous one, but they don't really hit the mark as well as some third-party companies do. They always try to make them so that they can also be weapons, and I don't really think that works. Make the combiner hands and feet. It just makes the whole combiner a more solid figure. It is a cool idea, but it ends up not working in the end. And it seems like they're starting to get closer and closer to that idea. However, the feet seem to have guns that can be attached to them to give them like width. It seems like the feet also might have forward and back posability, but yeah, looks okay. Now supposedly these are supposed to be Generation Select figures, but I don't know if they're going to release as one big box set or as individual figures that you'll have to buy off of Hasbro Pulse. But supposedly if you do have to buy them as a set, it'll be a set of around $210, which is quite a lot of money. I also have some good information from Sabretron.com that gives an idea of what the molds will be used for the characters. This is their best guess based on the silhouettes that were shown on the show floor. Snaptrap is a remold of Hunger, Scalar is a remold of Blot, Nautilor is a remold of either Shuttle, Blastoff, or Dreadwind, Overbite could be a remold of Rippersnapper, and Sea-Wing is probably a remold of Cutthroat. But yeah, overall, just a really interesting set of reveals from the Tokyo Toy Show. A lot of things to keep my eye on. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you liked it and found it informative. I'm sorry if I came off a little bit stuttery or a little bit quiet in this video. I've been away from recording for so long now that I've basically got to relearn everything, and it's a little rusty. Just bear with me, I promise I'll get better. So, that is the end of the video. Don't forget, you can like this video, comment, and even subscribe, but only if it's your pleasure. Check out all my social media links down in the description below. I'm Weebot the Robot, and I will see you later.